In this video, we're going to talk about the death of traditional business and why sales reps are the future entrepreneurs. As the quote states, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And if you're a sales rep watching this, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why now is the time that you should be planting your entrepreneurial tree and why you already have the skills to do so. Now, here's what the corporate overlords hope that you don't figure out. The entire game of business has changed, but most people in this world are playing by the rules of 1995. Your sales manager keeps telling you things to keep you appeased and to keep you happy, like sales is the highest paid profession, or sales are the highest paid people at any company, when we all know that this is complete BS. Meanwhile, there's a revolution happening underneath all of our noses called the digital renaissance, which has completely democratized the ability for everyone to start businesses, and sales reps are the best positioned to take advantage of it. But there's a fleeting moment in time right now where you have an opportunity to take advantage of this before things start getting really, really difficult for everybody. With the coming age of AI, individual contributor roles like sales reps, SDRs, BDRs are going to be some of the first to go. Microsoft just announced massive layoffs due to AI, and this is not stopping anytime soon. Now is the time, if you work in sales, to take your golden parachute from your sales job and to roll it into something before this decision is made for you. So if you're watching this and you're in sales right now, I'm guessing that you're probably doing fairly well for yourself. Maybe you're making 80 grand a year, $120,000 a year. Maybe your on-target earnings are like me and you're pushing $200,000, $250,000 per year. This is great, and hitting our numbers and making a lot of money in sales is awesome, but let's be honest, there are things that keep us up at night. Every month or quarter, our quota is wiped clean and we start over from zero. You're building somebody else's empire with every single deal that you close. And every single sales rep watching this video is just one bad quarter or a lack of leads away from being on a PIP or a performance improvement plan and being in the unemployment line. And worst of all, your income at the end of the day is dictated by somebody else's commission structure and their ability to change it at any time. Now, why am I making this video? It's because I used to be you. This entire channel is a letter to my former self, the sales rep who was doing very well for himself. I was making $150,000 per year. I was super young. I was making way more than all of my friends, but it took a private equity firm buying the company that I worked for to completely shatter my universe and to help me realize that my skills as a salesperson were just being systematically harvested. My skills, my relationship, all my hard work, the opportunities that I was creating, they would all be eliminated the very second that I missed quota. And it was when I realized this that I also realized that the business game had completely changed. So the point of this video is that in the next 10 minutes here, I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to show you why the traditional business startup is dead. I'm going to explain to you why if you are in sales, you have an unfair advantage in the new economy. I'm going to explain to you the exact business model that I personally used to go from a six-figure sales rep to a seven-figure entrepreneur, and one that I've seen 1,300 sales reps deploy to start their own online businesses. And by the end, you'll understand why staying in corporate sales might be the biggest financial mistake that you make in your entire life. I've now been in business for 10 years. I've been outside of the sales machine for 10 years, and looking back at the decision that I made 10 years ago was the single most important decision that I ever made. Here's what they don't teach you in business school. Starting a business in today's day and age has nothing to do with what you think it does. Forget everything that you've been told about needing capital, writing a business plan, renting office space, hiring employees. All of these things that you traditionally needed to start a business are completely dead. In fact, if somebody tells me that they're putting together a business plan before starting a company, I can tell you flat out there's probably a 99% chance that that person is going to fail. The digital renaissance has happened, and the new business model is simple. You, a laptop, the internet, success. And with that success comes the most important thing, which is freedom. I think a lot of people have a lot of these beliefs in their head that I hear all the time from people. Things like, I need money to start a business, when my entire seven-figure business was started with a $250 investment in an LLC, a website host, a domain, a business email, and designing a logo. That was literally it. I think also a lot of sales reps think to themselves, like, I don't have experience as an entrepreneur. I've never started a business before, when in reality, you are literally building a company every single day in the work that you do. All you need is a vehicle on the back end, which is what we're going to talk about in this video. A lot of people also think that they need to have all the answers. They need to learn everything before they start, when in reality, the best way to learn is actually by starting. You can watch all the courses in the world. You can watch all the YouTube videos in the world, but none of it compares to actually doing it. Probably the biggest limiting belief that I hear of all is people that love their corporate benefits, their 401k, their health insurance, all these things. I can say I'm now a seven-figure entrepreneur. I have all those benefits myself. I have my own health insurance through my company. I have a 401k, but I also have a lot of awesome things like a SEP IRA and a bunch of other things that you only have access to if you own a business. Not only that, I'm seeing like a 700% return on my time compared to what I was doing as a sales rep. So I mean, just do the math. Here's what's actually happening. You're being systematically harvested. You are being sold a dream as a sales rep, and you are being taken advantage of. And they're telling you that you don't have what it takes to start a business because you don't have some idea or some skill set that the smart people at your company have. The reality is you actually know the most important 90% though. You know how to build things, you know how to source things, you know how to create relationships out of nothing. This is what business ownership is. You prospect, you identify, you demo, you close, and you keep 3% of the deal that you close when your CEO and the rest of the organization keeps 97% of it and goes and buys a new vacation home. I'm here to show you how you can keep the rest of that money. In order to do that though, you need to have a mentality shift. You need to stop thinking like an employee and you need to start thinking like an entrepreneur. And the thing is, as a sales rep, you literally already are a problem-solving entrepreneur in disguise. You're probably told to own your territory. You're told to own your patch. You're told to own your lead list. This is what entrepreneurship is. You're identifying market prospects. You're creating value propositions, which is marketing. You're handling objections and closing deals, which is sales. You're building relationships, which is customer success. You're generating revenue, which is basically the whole damn business. So what does all of this mean? What do we do with this information? This now brings me to the model that I suggest that sales reps start that are serious about building their actual life's work and moving beyond just being a cog in a corporate machine that will forget about them and discard them the second that they miss quota one single time. The business model that I'm talking about is called a lead generation agency, or an LGA. This business is specifically designed and is perfect for sales professionals because on both sides of the coin, both in terms of how you get clients as well as how you deliver your services for your clients, are directly tied to your existing sales experience. I'm going to talk about something that I call the 90-day freedom plan. We help sales reps set these up all day, every day. If you're curious about learning more, check out the link in the description down below, or check out the video that I linked to after this one, where I go into this business model in a lot of detail. Those are two great places to start, but this is what the first 3 months of a sales rep turned entrepreneur will be spending their time on, and how to get to your first $10,000 on the internet as a side hustle in the next 90 days. Month 1 is your foundation. This is the side hustle phase. This is when we are building and we are validating the business model. During this time, we're going to set up our business. We're going to form our LLC. We're going to think of our name, create our logo, build our website. All of these things can be done in the first couple of weeks. As I mentioned, I'm going to link to a video after this one. I'll also throw it in the description down below, where I break down this whole business model in a much longer video. But what we're going to do in this as well is we're going to figure out exactly what our offer is and what our pricing is going to be. Now, when you're first getting started, I suggest for your first couple of clients, as I'll cover here in a moment, you work for free to get experience. But it's very easy to charge $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 per month for the LGA services that you'll be providing. During this first month, we're going to start prospecting. We're going to start cold calling because we know what we're doing. And I suggest that you guys look at working with local service businesses, things like roofers, landscapers, pest control, electricians, plumbers. These types of businesses need leads every single day. They are oxygen for their business. It is not optional for them to have leads. They need it more than anything, and they will handsomely pay people that know how to bring them these leads. This is entirely possible to do while full-time employed. I built this while working 3 to 4 weeks on the road, traveling for my previous job. And all we're trying to do in this first month is start prospecting and get somebody to say yes to giving us an opportunity to work with them for free. Now in month 2, I call this the validation phase. What we're doing here is we're taking that free trial experience from month 1 and we roll that into our first case study and our first testimonial. What we want to do is we want to take that experience from that first client and roll that into experience that we can use to now market ourselves for our first paying client. We've worked with some people for a couple of weeks. We understand and have worked out the kinks on this business model. We now understand how it works. And now we can actually start charging money for doing this. A good place to start is $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000 per month. You're going to keep doing what you do every single day as a sales rep. You're going to prospect over lunch. You're going to play some cold calls after you get off work in the afternoon, or you're going to do it before work in the morning. If you're on the West Coast, call the East Coast. If you're on the East Coast, call the West Coast after work. Whatever it takes. This is exactly what I did. And there's businesses out there who are willing to pay you thousands of dollars per month to do this. So we're going to take that experience from month 1 and we're going to roll that into using that to market ourselves for our first paying clients in month 2. I've seen tons of people hit their first 5K month, their first 6K, 7K month within that second month doing exactly this. The big thing we're also going to be focusing on month 2 is just refining our service delivery model. We're going to be working out the kinks. We're going to be getting better. It's going to start putting us in a position where we have even more results that we can use to market higher prices in month 3. Now, as we move into month 3, this is what I call the scaling phase. We've worked out the kinks. We've worked with a couple of clients at this point. At this point, we can start raising our prices. I've seen people start charging $5,000 per month in the 3rd month of being in business because they've already been delivering great results for their clients. You start building a list of people that are waiting to work with you. You're starting to queue up onboardings at this point for people that are lining up to do business with your agency. And a great thing to start focusing on at this point as well is creating systems, having repeatability in your business. A big thing about the LGA model that I love is every client is very similar to the next client. If you work with one plumber, you can run the exact same strategy for the next plumber or for an electrician. The lead process is exactly the same. So it's a very systemized copy paste business from one client to the next client to the next client. So in month 3, as we scale what we're charging, we can also be scaling our efficiency as well to be in a position to handle working with even more clients. Now, it's entirely possible in month 3 that you could be looking at quitting your sales job. I'm going to be completely honest. If you really grind it out, if you really put in the time, very, very possible at this point that you can be in a position to look to quit your job. My business partner, Derek, and I, when we were getting our agency started, 3 months in, we knew exactly when we could schedule our quit date. Literally the day that we had the idea to start our business to the day that we put in our resignation for our sales jobs was a 6-month period. November of 2016, June 1st, 2017, quit our job. Now, I know as you're watching this, you're like, okay, this sounds really great, but there are some gaps here, right? And I have some limiting beliefs in my head. I've got some questions. The question that comes up a lot is things like, I've never run a business before, and neither has any entrepreneur that has ever started a business. Jeff Bezos starting Amazon, he'd never run a business before. He was like a consultant or something. The best way to learn is by doing, not by studying. If you want a masterclass on this, check out the link in the description down below. We go incredibly detailed in our coaching and setting up these plans and walking you through exactly what to do at every single stage in great detail, as you can probably imagine, but it's far too detailed for a single YouTube video. And I'm here to tell you another question that I hear a lot is people that say that they just don't have time while working their day job, right? And neither did I. I also did not have time. I was traveling 2-3 weeks a month. I was on the road constantly. I literally built this business mostly over airplane Wi-Fi for the first couple of months that we were in business. I literally remember sitting on crappy connections, because this was 10 years ago, sending emails to people, prospecting, responding to people that were getting back to us, setting up campaigns on airplane Wi-Fi while I was traveling for my other job. Now, with that aside, I just want you guys to understand the urgency of what's happening here. Like, the world is changing. Right now, as a sales rep, there's never been a better time to get started in a business. There's never been more opportunity, but things are about to get really, really difficult for sales development reps and BDRs. Like, it's going to happen. AI is going to start taking jobs. Organizations and economies are going to start slowing down because there's just going to be less money moving around. And there has never been a better time to start hedging your bets and to put yourself in a position of power than now to start a business. And like, here's what they don't want you to know. You're not supposed to be an employee or a sales rep forever. You're supposed to be an entrepreneur who just so happened to learn sales first, like Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison that started Oracle. So like, some of the most impressive entrepreneurs of all time started their career in sales and used their sales resilience, expertise, ability to build that they learned as a sales rep and turn that into a business. Your corporate job was never your destination. It's a training ground. Every no you've heard, every deal that you've closed, every objection that you've overcome, every time that you've been hung up on, they've been training you and preparing you for this moment. Knowing sales is 90% of entrepreneurship. If I meet somebody and they tell me they're starting a business and they come from a sales background, I believe that there's a 90 to 95% chance at bare minimum that that person is going to be successful. The question is not if you can build a business as a sales rep. It's whether you're going to keep just pacifying yourself and keep going down the path that you were never meant to go down to begin with. The game's changed, the tools are there, the opportunity has never been bigger. If you're curious about learning more about this model, check out this video right here. I walk through this business model in incredible detail. This took me from a 6-figure sales rep to a 7-figure CEO. Was able to quit my job in 6 months, scaled it to 7 figures over the last 10 years. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I've got amazing videos coming to help you guys out. My entire channel is about helping sales reps quit their sales jobs and to build freedom in their lives. And drop a comment. Let me know what questions you guys have. Connect with me on my socials. They're in the description down below. And if you guys would love to have a conversation about setting up a plan for yourself, check out the link in the description down below for the Sales Rep Escape Plan. Much love. Thanks for watching.